Hi everyone. Today I coming into the final punch of the whole series. Okay. Um, Last time we discussed that Adams is hiding something, and it's more than something that is obvious that he eaten the forbidden fruit. It's actually is he has something beyond what we think. All right. Today I'm going to review this and then discuss about that so that we have a better understanding the challenge between how to reestablish the relationship between God and man. All right. Once we understand it, then now we can think about of how to address it. So last time we talked about that the serpent actually talking to the woman, and also said that the animal doesn't talk. She basically talking to herself, but partly is the some sort of the evil idea getting into her mind and then change her. All right. So how would this looks like a monologue, okay, to her, and then change her psychology and the way of thinking, and then getting into the big trouble. So today we're using Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 to 6. That's the key event, okay, the sequence of event that how Eve getting into this trouble, or actually it's both Eve and Adam's getting into trouble. All right. So I would like to use this passage, but would like to use four perspective. Okay, looking at this, so that we have a much better understand about the interaction and the complication between each of these perspective. First perspective is the serpent. All right, what the serpent's trying to do, right? And second, there is Eve perspective, and also the Adam's perspective, and also the God's perspective. Okay, let's start with the passage first, and now we go in deeper. All right. So here is the chapter 3, verse 1 through 6. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die." "You will not certainly die," the serpent said to the woman, "for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and ate it. She also gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. So, yeah, this is a very famous story in the book of Genesis, and actually in the whole Bible. Almost most of the people who study the Bible must know about this story. All right. So now let us take a deeper look into this. Okay, from the serpent perspective. So looking at this whole thing, the serpent actually is saying two things only. Okay, pay attention. The first one is, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? The first one even is benign because it's a question. There's no right and wrong. The first thing the serpent do is to challenge, okay, your belief. Do you really believe that you're going to die? Now, most of the people, okay, when they're debating inside their heart whether I should do it or not, something that I know I shouldn't do, but first thing first, you will question yourself, right? Now, this is the first step getting into trouble, all right? Because it's shaking your belief. Question. You will see that, look at the YouTube, they lots of, clickbait and many, they usually put in the question form. They learn from the serpent, all right? So, all right, I'm not saying they are serpent, but using question is the really the effective way to arouse your interest, all right? Shaking your belief. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Right? So, okay, so this first part is a question. And second part, when the serpent respond back to what Eve said, and the serpent say, you will not certainly die. Now, seems to be opposite to what the woman believed. And this die, now, this is the how crafty this serpent really is this die. Now, we all know that after they eat the fruit, it's not the poison fruit, okay? They don't die immediately. But what does this die really mean? Well, eventually, they both die, okay, after 1,000 years old, all right? But this die actually immediately, certainly die, is their spirituality. Because once they decide to eat the fruit, they decided to separate from God. Now, this is what God said the die really means, all right? Now, the serpent is so crafty. Okay, in the other translation, they call it subtle. Meaning is that they try to twist the meaning of this die. Now, make it legitimate, right? When I eat it, I will not die, and why not? Go try it. This is actually causing a lot of harm. Now, so many people twisting other people's words, even using the same word, but twist the meaning slightly. Now, this is what the serpent like to do. You will see a lot of this type of argument in the courtroom and many things. So that's why we have a court system that makes sure that two sides, giving the evidence based on fact, not based on your interpretation. All right. And also, the serpent did one more harmful thing. Is that for God knows that when you eat from it, your eye will be open and you will like God, knowing good and evil. Now, the serpent making this issue no longer as a food issue, not about eating. It is now getting into the spiritual level, which is you will be like God. Very easy. Sometimes when we are discussing some finance with your friend, especially if two friends try to form a company, it's a good, spirit that, okay, we want to create a new company doing some new thing, great thing together. But usually, if you have to be really careful forming a company with your friend when the money involved, because the issue can quickly go sour if you don't take it carefully. So here it seems like it's about the food, right? And suddenly, how come it would become a spiritual problem like God? Now, these two things are the same thing, right? Basically, whether you're eating the forbidden fruit or not. But actually, eating the forbidden fruit is actually have also the spiritual meaning. So that's why sometimes, even though one side doing the right thing, okay, in front of the others, but actually his or her heart may be thinking different things. All right. So that's what I'm saying is that what is happening on our daily life, it has the spiritual implication. That the serpent is really good at mixing it up. Sometimes you can hardly argue with someone who making some action without knowing the true motivation. Why you want to eat the fruit? Now here is interesting. You see, the serpent is actually mixing up the issue. Now, look at what the serpent did. Well, everything he did is almost correct. Nothing really wrong. Obviously wrong. Nothing obviously wrong. But we know his intention is to causing Eve getting into the trouble. This is evil. You will see that some kid is tricking the other kid, doing something wrong, and the one that who tricking the other kid go away because you cannot blame him. but it was you who making the mistake. This is evil. All right. This is exactly what the serpent did. Oh, now looking at how Eve being influenced by these messages. All right. So when the serpent, asking the first question, wow, look at her. She can perfectly recite what God asked her to do, right? We may not eat from the fruit from the tree in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat the fruit from the tree that is in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die. The tree in the middle, wow, she started to change the name of that tree. She no longer called it the fruit of knowing good and evil. He just say, oh, the tree in the middle. Just like the other tree. Make it non-specific. Okay? Something that we need to care for. All right? So first of all, she tuned it down. All right? And you will see some more issue with this statement. But what I'm trying to bring it up here is that this statement essentially comes from God. And wow, perfect. I can recite the Bible every time correctly. So what? Look at how she responds right after the serpent say one after this. All right. Now look at this when. Starting from this when. The woman is not making a statement. This is what's going on in her heart. This is her true belief. All right? The belief what? Belief, wow. The food is good for food. Well, not necessarily tasty, but, well, at least it's edible. All right? I can do it because I eat most of the food except this one. All right? And pleasing to the eye. Wow, looks great. Well, when you focus on something that you don't want to do, you always try to look at it, right? Pleasing to your eye. Oh, okay. I don't think that is a particularly interesting, okay, or beautiful, but you just give you more reason to eat it. And this is really you see the effect of the serpent is that she also say that desirable for gaining wisdom. In the God's instruction, nothing talk about this. These ideas come from the serpent, which is saying that you will be like God. It is supposed to be, oh, you have some good chocolate, let me eat it. It's not that simple. It is not about the food. Now it is about to challenge. What? You feel like you are minimal than God, okay? Inferior than God. And now suddenly you want to be like God. This is the different story. It is no longer about whether having the fruit or not. It's not about the fill up your stomach, survival or not. It is more to challenge God because they want to be more like God. So now you see that from the way that starting from a question all the way down into this moment of gaining wisdom. Now you always need to see that the argument is escalating until to the point of this wisdom and then become an action. She took some. She started to make an action. Before all this, it's all just developed in her heart. Okay? All the criminal, many crime is all developed in our heart first. Up to the certain point, they make an action. So it's very unfortunate that if we cannot control our heart and then escalate it all the way up to here, then now you make an action and become. Now before it's just all inside your heart, nothing wrong, until you're making the first step. Now, when you're making the first step, you also committed all this trespassing inside your heart. Everything just in one action, one mistake, completely reveal that you have all this issue in your heart. It is not just about the food. So as I said, Adam have something hiding. It's hiding up to this level that you will see that. Okay, oh, no. It is Eve, right? Oh, no, not at all. And even here, Adam didn't say a word. How come, he is his problem, right? Look at it. He gave some to her husband. Okay. Well, is her husband staying home? No. Who was with her? He is next to Eve when Eve is go and take the fruit. Who? And also, last couple times, from the way that how Adam respond to God, he obviously know he eating the forbidden fruit because he immediately push the reason, all right, to Eve. Hey, this is not me. The last message. If he didn't know the fruit, it is and shouldn't be eaten, he would say, "Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that." But he cannot be aware of this crime because he is next to her. He knows it. And so that's why he knows that he of the crime when he ate it. Oh, then why you, Adam, not stopping Eve from taking the fruit? This guy is something. He is waiting for Eve to take the crime and then get the benefit from eating it so that he has a good scapegoat for himself. This guy is something. Even though he didn't say the word, but he is the one that wanting to eat it. Now, look at it. How could have Eve take on this instruction? Was God telling her? It was coming from the chapter 2, okay? Just the chapter before, okay? 16, 17. What did it say? The Lord God commanded the man, right? Not the woman. You are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When you eat from it, you will certainly die. All right? God told the man, not the woman. Why? Because Eve hasn't been born yet. God didn't create Eve yet. Eve is created at verse 22. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had made, taken out from the man, and he brought her to the man. Eve does not even exist, not of the existence, when God instruct the man. So, where the instruction that Eve come from? Must come from Adam. Adam told Eve, you shouldn't eat from the tree. Now, here, look at it. Do you see a little difference, okay, between what the Eve instruction than the God's instructions? Now, first of all, it is not in the middle of that tree. Eve seems to not knowing, oh, is it the good of evil, right? Good or evil. Yeah. You must not eat the fruit from the tree in the middle. She not even know the name. And also one more thing. She also adds some instruction into it. Okay, you must not touch it. Well, hard to tell whether it was Adam influenced, Eve, or Eve. Oh, maybe she forgot and he put some work into it. All right, but no matter who get wrong, because the man is next to her, he should have stopped her. Adam has the bigger responsibility than Eve because it was him who took the first instruction. Eve is the second. Well, now looking at what Adam has done, he obviously sharing all this thinking, right? Good for food, pleasing to the eye, desirable of gaining wisdom. Adam also want that wisdom. And think of what God is doing in this all cases. Now, I shared with you last time that God didn't say much actually. And God even know that you taking the fruit, he also give you the first response. Okay? Now God didn't judge you in the first step. He knows that even though he knows that he eat it, but he didn't judge you right away. He give you the chance to tell. Now, if you know, Adam is actually doing this, would he come and say, "Oh, I actually want to be like you"? No, he didn't say that. He used the other excuse. He said that I'm naked because he's hiding. He's hiding what? First, he wants to be like God. He wants to challenge God, and he knows that when he eat the fruit, he will die. And he testing God. Okay, and why? Why he testing God? Well, amongst all trees, okay, none of these tree he chosen to challenge God. He explicitly chosen the one that you say I cannot do it. Because you say I cannot do it, I do it to you. And see how you respond to it. Now, this is so-called testing God. Because you want to show that you are bigger than God. I'm in control. This is the human nature. You will see that we always challenge the authority. Many, okay, when we were a kid, whenever you put the line, I would just try it. I keep trying it until one day, okay, I see all this in my son. When even though he not even know how to speak, all right, he tried the boundary because he want to show I'm in control. Now look at it is that when God create man in his likeness, you can see how magnificent we are, how complex we are, that we can make this whole thing look so benign, but in the behind the scene, we're hiding a lot of our sin in our heart. Actually, I just counting it is about 7 layers of the problems. The ultimate motivation of Adams to taking the fruit to eat is I'm in control. He want to show to everybody, I'm in control, not you, God. Even though you created me, I'm in control. Of course, Adam didn't know that the problem that he create afterward is the bigger that he can manage. And if you look at how magnificent that the God's creation of us, we are really similar to God, okay? Except we are made from the ground, from the dust. But if we can have a good use of our body, our life, we can be really magnificent and then glorify the magnificent creation of God. We want to be part of the solution, and we don't want to be the part of the problem ourselves. Looking at the few more chapters, if you continue to read chapter 4 and chapter 5, you will know that really, really quickly, human ways just corrupted in the harmful way, and even we will admit that the problem that we create, we can't manage. Just like what we happen today, that the conflict between man and man, and the country and country. Okay, we were at the brink of the nuclear war. Okay, now we also in the brink of the other conflict. Do you think that it was because we're not capable of solving this problem? Man is absolutely capable. You can see how magnificent the man can be, but if he choose to wrong turn, it will make things even worse. It is not because we are not capable. It was because our heart. We lost. We no longer want to follow God, and we also basically right now we have no way to know where God is. Even though you want to find Him, you don't even know where to find. And now we become part of the problem and not the solution. So if you want to be the solution of this problem, just follow on, and I will explain to you how we get back to the where we supposed to be when we were created. All right. See you next time.